Grace and peace, family. This is Pastor Stevens once again, and now as the school year is into full swing, there is a word that we want to encourage you to focus on as you go into this week. And that word is a simple yet powerful word. That word is centered. 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 As we ask you to focus on being centered, you may ask, on what should I be centered? Well, there are a few things that we'd like for you to be centered on as you continue to grow and thrive as you move into this school year. Centered on hope. Hope that allows you to recognize that you've been empowered, you've been gifted to make this the most successful school year that it can possibly be. Now, also centered on the word focus. As long as you allow your heart and your mind and your soul and your body to be fully engaged in every way that you're being called to learn, we believe that learning will not only be an incredible experience, but it will be an experience that helps you tap into your purpose. Centered on faith. Faith that you have everything you need bubbling up inside of you to march into this school year. As a successful student, as a family that is overcoming any challenge, as an educator who's finding creative ways to touch and inspire every student you encounter. And then there is one more word that we would like you to be centered on. We want you to be centered on the idea that God has your back. God has your back. And I know I said we wanted to be one word, so that one word is support. God is supporting you. God is supporting you through the way that you have been blessed with teachers and family members and even other students who are navigating this journey with you to help you understand that you remain centered on the fact that not only you can do this through all things through Christ that strengthens you, but you will do this. You will do all things through Christ that strengthens you. And so right now, as you continue to move into this month of September, we want every thought to be centered on the fact that you have been made to achieve in a time like this. You've been gifted to explore and grow in a time like this. You have been blessed to exist in a time like this because, yes, 2020 has many challenges. 2020 has many different ways that's causing us to approach learning and being in community. 2020 in many ways has been nothing that anybody prayed for or expected it to be. But I will tell you this, family. I'll tell you this, children. I'll tell you this, parents and educators. One of the things about times like this is that when we allow ourselves to creatively reimagine how we engage with the world, reimagine how we look at overcoming, reimagine the way that we move through circumstances that make us feel like things are so topsy-turvy that we don't know which way to go, and we can reimagine what God can do in our lives in times like this. God has this amazing way of taking moments of confusion and turning them into incredible clarity. God has this incredible way of even taking moments of pain and turning it into power. God has this amazing way of taking things that are turbulent and turning them into triumph. So today, be centered in the fact that God supports you. Be centered in the fact that hope surrounds you. Be centered in the fact that faith is stirring up inside of you, and be centered in the fact that you have the power, you have the ingenuity, you have the intelligence, you have the courage, you have the strength, you have the ability to let your light shine in incredible ways through this most incredible time. So as you move into this week, be centered on all the ways that God's goodness will pour through your academic studies. Be centered in all the ways that God's goodness will pour into your homes. Be centered in all the ways that God's goodness will pour into your classrooms, whether they be virtual classrooms, whether they be an in-person setting, or whether you're going to be in school, in the actual school building part of the week, and then at home back in the virtual space the other part of the week. Be centered in the fact that God's love for you is so profound that somehow, some way, blessings are going to continue to manifest in your life even in this time. Support will be there for you even in this time. Peace is going to flood your life even in this time, because we want you to know that God has ordained that even in this time of turbulence, this time of topsy-turvy movement, this time of winds coming out of nowhere seeming to shake things up, God has ordained that you will still succeed with peace. So no matter where you might be centered in that thought as you go into this week. No matter what you might be going through, be centered in this thought as you go into this week. And we're asking that you go into this week with not only a hope, but a belief, but a conviction and an affirmation to yourself that as you stay centered in God's grace, that yes, you will say that this was another week that I was able to succeed with peace. Go forth into this week, family, knowing that you are blessed, knowing that you are able, knowing that God is able to do all things in your life through Christ that strengthens you. Amen, amen, amen. And to God be the glory for the amazing week that you are going to have.